This warm-up is really great for any pose where you're doing a forward fold, where you need flexibility in the backs of your legs, your hamstrings. So really great if you're doing the splits, standing splits, Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, dancer's pose, not Tarajasana, then this would be a good warm-up to do. When we're stretching a muscle, please be mindful that if you go too far too fast, your body senses that as a danger. And it has this reflex where the muscle will seize up so that it won't stretch and open up for you. Just like the reflex we have when we touch a hot stove and we pull back, this is an automatic response to overstretching where the body will seize up. So just move slowly through the stretches. Make sure you do your audible Ujjayi breath. That also tells the body that it's safe so that it can soften and release a little bit more. Also have fun with this and come back to your intention. We'll start in seated. Take a moment to anchor down into your seat and lift up through the crown of the head, finding your audible breath, breathing in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and send your tailbone back, arching through the spine. On the exhale, draw the belly in, round the spine, tuck the tailbone forward, chin to your chest. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the heart, arching through the back. Exhale, round the spine, drawing the belly in, tucking the tailbone forward. And just do a few more at your own pace, really focusing on that audible breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Slight contraction at the back of your throat. And then after your last round, sitting up tall, extend your right leg out in front of you, bending the left knee and bringing the sole of your left foot to your inner thigh. You might want to gently pull the flesh so that you can feel your two sitting bones. If you tend to be more flexible, if you're hypermobile, then please do not do that. Sitting up tall, if your spine is long and your leg is straight, then when you forward fold, you're going to round the back. If you're a little bit tighter in the hamstrings and you can't do a straight spine and a straight leg, then please bend the knee. Work on lengthening your spine more and then forward folding from there. Once you can keep the spine long and straight in the leg, then we start to round. Sitting up tall, inhale arms to sky, twist your belly button towards your right knee, and then exhale to forward fold. We're going to hold here for a little while. And remember, if you're a little bit more flexible, you can straighten the back and the leg, then you are going to round the spine forward. You're holding in order to give the body time to get used to the shape, so that it will open up for us and our edge will move. Remember, we find that edge by listening to the breath, the sensations in the body, and the intuition. As long as the body believes it's safe, it will open up and release for us a little bit more. On the next inhale, lift your left arm to sky and take it back behind you, behind your pelvis. Push down into the left hand as you inhale, right arm up, hips up, with your left knee on the mat, like a modified side plank. Okay, we're going to hold for a few breaths, just trying to warm up some heat in the body. On the exhale, slowly lower pelvis to mat, and then forward fold over the front leg again. Maybe notice if you can go a little bit deeper, if the edge has moved. If you wanted to open up the hamstrings a little bit more, if you tend to be tight, this would be a good practice to do every day. You can do this practice every day. Inhale to sit up tall. Take the hands behind you as you switch legs. Extend the left leg forward, sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Again, maybe move the flesh back a little bit, but if you tend to be really flexible, if you can pancake forward, then please don't do that. It could make you go too far. If you're a little bit tighter, bend the knee and work towards lengthening the spine. Twist the belly button towards your front leg, towards the knee. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale to forward fold. If you're working with the bent knee version, over time, as we hold here, you might be able to straighten the leg a little bit more, or maybe over the next several months, as you do this stretch, over time, you might be able to straighten the leg. If you're flexible enough to sit up tall and straighten the leg, then when you come forward, make sure you round the spine. This is to keep the SI joint safe, which is at the back of our pelvis. Depending on your body, your pose will be different. More flexible people will round. Less flexible people will work more on length. That's to keep us safe and to get the benefits of the pose, to stretch the hamstring in the way that we want. It's not the same for everyone. Just a few more breaths to soften and surrender and give the body time to open up. And then on your next inhale, reach your right arm up to sky. Take it behind you onto the mat. Push down into that hand and your left foot as you inhale. Lift the hips, lift the left arm to sky. And holding for a few breaths just to start to build some of that internal heat. It's called Ajni in Sanskrit in Ayurveda. On the exhale, lower pelvis to mat. Windmill the hands back to forward fold over the front leg. Again, just notice if maybe you've gone a little bit deeper, if the edge has moved, maybe not. No judgment either way. And then on an inhale, sitting up, taking the hands behind you, bend both knees and bring the soles of your feet to them. We have this reflex in the body that if I work a muscle before I stretch it, what the body will actually do if I work it the right amount is it will tell the muscle to relax and open. So in order to stretch the hamstrings, it can be beneficial to work them first. So we're going to work them now. Take your hands behind you. You can either turn your fingertips towards your hips, but this is a little bit more intense on the wrist. You can turn them out to the side or back. Draw the shoulder blades together on your back, open your chest, push into the hands and the feet, and take a reverse tabletop here. Really actively push down into the feet, and then also try to pull your heels towards your hands. Now, they're not going to move, but try to kind of pull them back. So push down into the heels and pull the heels towards you. Probably feel those hamstrings firing up a little bit. The hamstrings being the muscle on the back of your thigh. So push down, very, very active here. Push down into the heels, pull your feet towards your hands. We're working those hamstrings. In order for this reflex to work, we need to work the muscle to about 50% of its capacity. So I'm just taking an educated guess on what's right for your body. Of course, I don't really know. Your body might need a little longer or a little less. Let's just hold for a few more breaths. Push down into your heels, pull your heels towards your hands. Very, very active here. And then go ahead and release hips to mat. Extend your legs long. Inhale, arms to sky. Again, if your spine is round here, please bend the knees. And then exhale to forward fold. Your spine will be rounded if you're a little bit more flexible. And by more flexible, I mean that you can sit up tall with your spine long and your straight legs. If you can do this 90 degrees, then you want to round forward. Otherwise, you're going to hurt the SI joint, or you could hurt the SI joint at the back of your pelvis. On the next inhale, go ahead and lift it up. Bend the knees as you rock back, cross your ankles. Take your hands forward and step it back to downward facing dog. Another stretch for those hamstrings. And another pose that will help to start to warm up the body overall. Hands slightly wider than your shoulders, wide enough for your carrying ankle. Push into the knuckles, lift the hips high. Try to have the weight even between the hands and the feet. So for many of us, we have to shift some weight back into the feet. And again, if your spine is rounded, that's because your hamstrings are tight. So just bend your knees and lengthen your spine a little. Just to continue to warm up the body a little bit on your inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale, lift the hips high. Downward. Inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale, lift up, downward facing. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, downward. Lift the heels, bend your knees on your inhale. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Halfway. Exhale to forward fold. And take any arm variation here that feels good for you. You can grab opposite elbows. You can interlace your hands at your lower back and take them up and over. So again, depending on your body, your pose will look different. If you tend to have tighter hamstrings, work on bending the knees and lengthening the spine a little. If your legs are straight, then you will round the spine a little. Notice how the hamstrings feel here. And we're going to work the hamstrings again. So inhale, bend the knees, hands to your heart center, chair pose. Dropping that weight back into your heel. We're trying to get that benefit of that reflex again. If I work the hamstring first and then stretch it, it will open up for us a little bit. Continue to hold here. We're working the hamstring, the back of the thigh. And I want to work it a little bit more. So let's pulse the pelvis. Again, about 50% of your capacity. So if you notice that you're starting to really get tired, you're working more than that, then you could probably forward fold and get the benefit right away. If you're not fatiguing at all, and this is way too easy, then maybe you need to do a couple more before you can get that benefit of the hamstring releasing. So I'm taking an educated guess on what's going to work for most of you watching this video, hopefully. We're going to pulse a little bit more, working to about 50% of our capacity, and then exhale to forward fold. And just notice the hamstrings feel like they've opened up a little bit more.